I think my biggest surprise has been like how hard it is to.
Oh my gosh.
I've literally never heard anybody in my life or seen a video or seen it in a movie discuss this.
It's so stressful for me, the nights, because all I can think about is the fact
Us being the Gen Beta parents and our target audience and who we are as a demographic, everybody's probably watching this and listening like,
for anyone to take away from this video, I would say that if you have a partner, that it's not going to work if you don't. I never asked you how the gym was.
the gym? It was good. I did a cardio for about a mile. I was sweating. It was good. I was tired though. Like typically
You're
I
feeling
can do the
physically
mile in
tired?
like 10 minutes. I run like 6 miles per hour.
Oh.
But I got to, I think, 0.40 miles. I'm like, hold on. At speed 6, this should not be this hard. No, literally. And I was like, damn, hold on, should I take a break? But there was people there. So I couldn't. I couldn't take a break. And then I just, by like 0.90, I'm like, it's just
You're like,
easy.
might as well.
It's literally all mental.
Yeah.
Because if I
True.
would have stopped, I would have stopped. But I literally
True.
finished it and I was like, there was nothing. But typically I try to do it under 10 minutes. I got in like 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
My lips are just feeling a little bit
Doing
chapped.
another chat? Yeah, I'll just put it on before we start.
Yeah, I'm lacking.
It was good. And then I did arms and shoulders. That's why, by the way, I'm wearing a tank top. 'Cause, you know,
Well, I did too.
yeah, you've been lifting this baby.
No, literally, I think like every time I'm feeding her, like I stare at my bicep because
Damn.
it's just
You're like,
it's just
"I look good."
no, but it's always engaged when I have to like hold her like this and feed her. So it's
perfect
just like,
form.
oh
I
yeah.
flex on him. Let's see. Hold on. Let me quickly kind of slant it. Let me quickly fix this. You look like you about to poop. There we go. That's more straight. Mine straight? Yeah, mine straight, I think.
Yeah, yours is straight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I did arms. Nice little pump. Remember when I went back to the gym and I was like, I feel like I'm not lifting as much as before?
Like when?
Like 2 weeks ago when I started the 75 hard challenge originally. After like the long period. I don't even know, but earlier like this year.
Okay.
Earlier this year, the year just started. I was like, I just don't feel as strong anymore. Like I'm not lifting as much. But again, with that, I feel like it was all just like a mental barrier and me giving myself an excuse not lift as much. It's like I start with the 25, so I do like 15 reps. And I'm like, yeah, I was too light. And I go up to 35 and I'm like, okay, I'm still too light. Then I went up all the way to like 40 and kept going. I was like, okay, just. We got a guest today. You want to do the introduction? Who's our guest?
Yeah. We have a special guest.
Yeah, who is it?
She's wearing a cute little pink outfit
Yeah,
that she's about to be too big for.
which is crazy. Too big for anything is crazy.
This is the only outfit that fits her right now, like actually properly, and it's gonna be too big soon.
Yeah, it
No,
actually
too small.
fits. Her
Yeah.
feet are like right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But she looks so cute, so we're gonna give her her little moment to shine before she starts crying.
You gotta, what's her name? You gotta introduce her. Who's the guest? You gotta. People need to know what's her
Oh,
name.
our guest
Yeah.
is baby Aaliyah. Look at her. She just looks so peaceful.
Yeah, for the people who are listening to the audio only on like Spotify or anything, go on YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta see this.
You gotta see how cute she looks. She's up. Is she still up? Barely.
I don't know what she's doing, but she just looks so cute, and I can't believe her feet are there at the end. Like, I
Yeah,
love
we've
it.
been. She's 15 years old. She looks. No, she. It's crazy how quick they already grow. Like it sounds so cliche. Oh, cherishing moments. They grow up so quick, but no. 15 days of like from like you said, the pictures on day 1
Yeah,
to now.
day 1 to 15, like you
It's
don't
crazy.
notice every day her face changing.
Yeah,
but
you
like
only
when you
notice when
look
you
at
look at
it,
the pictures.
it's like, what?
That's her? Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are we talking about today?
The sleep training, which is ideal that she's here because she's the problem. It's an intervention. We're having an intervention for her. Look,
You hear that?
we're matching. Yeah, we're having an intervention for her. But
Yeah. Sleep
yeah.
training. It's already been a journey.
yeah.
It's definitely not easy.
Is it harder than you thought?
The thing is in a way, I before she came, as I would constantly scroll through my TikTok and see all these moms post their, timestamps of night feedings and all that, I was really excited to do it. I'm I think I commented on a few people's videos being I'm so excited to do this. I know that it's going to be hard, but I'm genuinely so excited
You
to
look
do
so
this.
pretty, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fresh out of the shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just remember being really excited to do this, and it's still enjoyable. I haven't enjoyed I haven't not enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely hard, and it is harder than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just more physically exhausted than I knew I was gonna be.
Are you talking about breastfeeding or the sleep schedule?
No. Sleep.
The sleep schedule.
Well,
yeah.
just I'm mainly talking about those the
sleep
nights.
training, the whole thing.
Yeah. The nights, just how tiring those nights are.
Yeah.
They're
It's nuts.
definitely hard.
Yeah. I definitely didn't think it would have been this hard.
And I saw a video today on TikTok, and this mom was like, I hate the newborn stage. She's like, I just need to say it so every other mom, it's okay to feel like this. The newborn stage is hard. It sucks. It's so much better when they're she's like, I start to like my kid at 3 months.
3 months? Everybody keeps saying that she'll cry more though once.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Cry more at what?
don't
Just
know.
life? Life is stressful
Right?
month 1?
I don't know.
But yeah.
It's just and it's also hard because, this isn't exactly part of the sleep training, but just interacting with her, she can't really see really what's going on.
Yeah, look
and
at
so
her.
just interacting with her is I get nothing back. And I'm like, hello.
No, literally, and then she smiles at the most random things while sleeping. I'm trying to make you smile the whole day, and now you want to smile?
Yeah.
Like,
It's so interesting. It's definitely not what I expected, but
yeah.
yeah, sleep training is not for the weak. That's
It's
for
not.
sure.
It's not. I think my biggest surprise so far has been yeah, go to sleep then.
Yeah, she's
I think my biggest surprise has been how hard it is to wake her up.
oh my gosh.
I've literally never heard anybody in my life or seen a video or seen it in a movie discuss this. It is nuts.
How
it's
hard it is to wake her?
Yeah. It is by far the most unexpected hard thing with having a baby. It makes no sense. Why does nobody talk about this?
Yeah, right?
And why is it so hard? Okay, I'm getting heated.
Yeah, calm down.
I'm passionate about this subject.
You know what? That's that has to be one of those videos that you do, or just in general, the things they don't tell you as a first-time parent. Literally, they didn't tell us that they have to be awake. They have to have their wake times during the day, but you can't wake them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Even with the one video I was watching, and it says kind of an ideal schedule for a newborn when it's they wake, you feed, you play, nap, you wake, you feed, and it's that 8 times. I'm she has
She barely
2
woke up
naps
once.
and she's asleep for 4 hours.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to keep her
Yeah, that's a good point, because even when I was reading the book, it's you eat, play, you sleep. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. You want them to play so that they don't eat right before they sleep.
Yeah.
Easy. Duh.
Yeah, easy. I can keep her entertained for 20
The wake
minutes.
part is nuts though.
Can't even keep her awake for 20 minutes.
Not even while eating. Eating in her sleep. It makes no sense how hard it is to wake her up. But I think that's been, for me, the hardest part. Because if you can figure that out, you can manipulate it to where she's up during the day long enough, and she's tired at night.
Yeah.
But I wish we had clips like this and we could insert them, but it's so much effort. But literally whatever you do, You could pinch her. You can shake her.
Put cold towel on her.
Cold towel on her. Doesn't work.
She just
Literally,
that.
she cries, and then 2 seconds later, I honestly, what if she's faking? Because it's actually crazy. You know when your mom comes into your room when you were a kid, and so are you a sleeper? That's literally what it is. 'Cause, look here. Yeah, that's been the hardest thing. But the thing is, though, it only has been 15 days.
Yeah.
And we really have only tried one method. Actually, we really have tried two: the cry it out, and then the sit 4S's,
The
whatever
sit
it is.
thing doesn't seem to work.
Really?
I don't find that it does anything because I can't tell if she is relaxed. Like once she's like relaxed herself.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, but also it can either work where she's just like, will fall asleep and then you go to put her down and then she wakes up, or she just doesn't relax herself and she just stays awake.
I feel like we do a mixture of the cry it out and the sleep thing, because I typically hold her, and then you can't really feel when she's relaxed, and she breathes heavy all the time. I'm like, what is this your normal breathing or are you sleeping? Like, there's no tell. So I typically wait, probably check a couple times. I'll like move her real slow.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then if she's like, because the other thing, she doesn't want to be fully asleep. Like,
Yeah.
She just you want to relax her.
Yeah.
And then set her down. But I don't know. Honestly, I generally do think the cry it out is it's not the most logical, but I think it's the best one. Maybe not for this age, was the only caveat. It's like, is it too early? But I think overall, for me personally, the type of person that I am, the cry it out.
Well, the thing is like before she came, me too, and I'm just like, I cry, but I just can't get myself to let her cry it out right now. And I know like you keep saying like, well, she's only 15 days, but then she'll only be 2 months, but then which I totally get, like it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, it's at that, she's 2 weeks old, that it's like, she was inside my belly for 9 months. Like she knows me. She knows my heartbeat. She knows, so she wants to physically be close. So when she's upset and she's crying, being close and like hearing my heartbeat and having my smell is comforting to her. So it's just like, it makes me sad when she has to just lay there and be like,
I don't agree with that.
That's all of that is true.
I don't agree with that due to the fact that even when it's not you, she stops crying. When I hold her, she still stops crying. So that makes no sense. You can't say she only stops crying and goes to sleep when she feels you because she was in your stomach for 9 months.
No, she does. No,
because she wasn't for me, but she still has the same effect. Where it's like you hold her and then passes out. No,
I'm not saying necessarily it's just me, but she's used to like that comfort, She's not used to just being on her own.
Yeah, that's why you slowly transition her to getting more used to it. If she's not used to being alone, and for the first 2 months she's still not alone, or you think at month 3 all of a sudden she would just be like, oh, I'm ready to be alone and move out.
Move out?
Yeah, move out of your thing. Plus, the other thing is, the longer it is, the harder it just gets. Which is my thing.
Well, definitely, like, the cry it out definitely works when everything else of her needs are satisfied. Like, if her diaper is changed and she's, like, just been fed, like, even today, like, earlier when we tried to get her to take a nap, she wouldn't go to sleep. But after I fed her and I put her down, she went to sleep. So it's like, like, if... And clearly, the 2 times that we have done it now, she's... soothed herself within less than 10 minutes. Yeah. So it definitely does work. It's just when you think you've already met all her needs and it's like her diaper's changed, she's been fed.
That's when it is.
That's when it's like, why isn't she going to sleep?
Which is how I feel like it's the best use when she's this young. And that's another thing. Like, there's 2 extremes to it, to the crying it out. Where there's one where it's like you leave her in the room when it's time. You don't go back into that room until it's time to wake up. The other one is like where it's like you just don't do it at all. She cries. 2 seconds later, she's she's in your arm or you're feeding her. Both of those to me make no sense. I'm like more in the middle, where it's like, yes, you have to make sure like you. It's all about assessing. At the end of the day, that's my thing. I'm like, we gotta assess the situation. We can't just act emotionally, or oh, she's crying, she's hungry. I seen this video on Instagram where it's like, where it's like,
You can't laugh yet. I don't know the joke.
It's already funny though. It's like, how did it go? You don't know. Okay, how did it go? So it's like, it's a baby's point of view, and it's like when your foot itches and you're irritated when your mom gives you milk. And it's exactly what it is. It's like, 'cause some people, they're like, oh, if she's crying, she's hungry. But that's not necessarily the case. We gotta assess the situation. So my thing is like, yeah, worst case scenario, like we fed her diaper's changed, there's no gas, we've tried all that.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where it's obvious all she wants to do is be held throughout the whole night, which is my problem. That's when I'm like, okay, let's at least try this. And we have had these compromises where it's like, okay, I'm willing to wait like 20 minutes. But it's like, no, you can't do that. So I'm like, okay, that's what it all comes down to, is a compromise.
Yeah.
Which we've actually had a lot of those, which we definitely should talk about, because we have been already compromising a lot, which is good, because that was on our vision board for 2025. Yeah. But yeah, I'm more in the middle where it's like, we've done everything. It's 2 a.m. In all fairness to you as well, you can't just hold this baby for 3 hours. You know? And that's why I'm always like, you can't just lead by your emotions. Because yes, it is hard. Even I said it. I'm like, it's much harder than I would have thought to just let them cry. Because if it's like another person's baby, I'm like, bro, she's good. Yeah. But yeah, when she definitely is crying, especially when we're in the room, it's of course very, very hard. So it's not me coming from a point of, oh, I don't have any emotion. It's me coming from the fact that I was like, what makes it a win-win-win for all three of us? And the other thing is, what you said it, where when she self-soothed herself the first night, where it's like, oh, I'm so proud of her. She figured it out. If we just keep doing everything for her, we don't give her the opportunity to figure it out. Yeah. And for us to be proud of her and show her the love that, oh my God, you did it. And when she gets older as well, that's where I'm at. You know, we have to give her the opportunity, which where I'm wrong, and I'll admit, as I generally do not know how early to start. But my fear is starting too late. Yeah.
Which is a fair statement. Like, that totally makes sense. Like earlier is better. And I think, and when it comes to that, I agree with you 100%. I just didn't realize, like you were saying, how hard it's going to be. So me saying, yeah, I'm on board for earlier is better, but it's so hard because my emotions take over that I'm like, she's crying.
But that's why I would say, don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. But, I never say that specific sentence, but that sounds good. But yeah.
But yeah, I think it's also like, just like the other thing that I didn't expect, because like my sister asked me about, have I cried yet? And I'm like, well, no, but like I didn't know to an extent that she was like saying.
Cry or what?
But like postpartum, like your emotions are just like a roller coaster. And I think like, especially at night, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just get so sad. Every time I hear her cry, I'm like, what? Like, why am I so sad right now? But it's like, I think it's definitely like the hormones that are just like up there, and so like, I don't know, like on edge, that it's like so hard for me to just be like, okay, she's just crying, like she's fine, like it's okay. So I think that's definitely something that I didn't expect was like, maybe I haven't physically cried as much as other people, but the emotions are so high, so high that that's what makes it so much harder for me.
Yeah, I mean, it is you, so it does make sense that you do feel a lot of emotions, and you feel bad when she cries. You're supposed to. Yeah.
It's cute.
She's alright. But yeah, the hardest thing is just figuring out when, and like when it's okay, when it's not. Because if it's like during nap time and it's like broad day, then maybe it's okay for her to be out. But if it's like 1 a.m., we've tried everything. Yeah. And it's like, yo, like.
And I mean, like last night when you just kind of decided like, hey, like let's just let her cry it out. Like let's like leave the room. Obviously, I was just like not for it in the moment, but it ended up being like, it ended up working. And I think like that was needed. But obviously that was a hard decision for me to make as well.
But again, but that's also why it's good to have two people, because you get to see both sides of the things. Like, you're definitely way more emotional. Where I'm 100% way more logical.
Yeah.
I might be too far on the extreme other side. You're more like in the middle-ish. You're not very emotional, but you are more emotional than me. And it's like, we both said we need to go to sleep. It's obvious that you've done everything. We've done everything. She's content. She's safe.
Yeah.
There's nothing we could do else. It's been like an hour and she just like wants their attention. When you hold her, that's my point. When you hold her, she stops. So it's like, let's just leave the room. Not for an hour, but let's just distract ourselves. Let's just go sit in the living room. And after literally, we timed it, 7 minutes, she stopped crying.
Yeah.
And then we were able to just go back and go to sleep.
Yeah.
So something like that, where even like the book that I was reading said, it's like, them crying for 15 or 20 minutes won't emotionally harm them or lower their IQ or just ruin their whole life. It's just, it's hard because there's no right or wrong, I think, personally.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't, and I just don't think that every way, like, you know, like in a book or one way that works for one baby is going to work for another. So
100%.
even like the book itself that we're reading, it might work for Eleanor, you know, but it might not work for her. And so that's why, like, I think us continuing to compromise and just see what works is best, but obviously kind of having a guide to go by.
Yeah. Which is why the most important part is being the parent. Like, you're the person that has the judgment.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying you assess every situation.
I forgot that I'm the parent. I get to decide.
Yeah, like, you get to decide. If you're like, it says feed every 3 hours, but I don't think she's eating enough. She's hungry every 2 hours. Well, then assess it.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with the production of the milk? Is she just not getting enough calories? Is she just getting chubby? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's good to not be too extreme on either side. Because at the end of the day, if it's like an hour and a half in and she's been crying for 20 minutes, there has been those times where it's like, maybe she is just hungry. And then we feed her and she goes to sleep. But
which I also think that I have started to kind of differentiate
the cries?
The cries. No, I do. I think I have. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. So, like, last night, there was a point where she was crying and I told you, like, I think she has gas. And then I was, like, doing her gas movement. She was just farting. No. But I can hear it.
The farts?
No. The
cries?
The cries.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking at one of them, they were saying, like, the cry for hunger when they put their tongue to the roof of their mouth and, you know, it makes it like that nyeh sound.
Yeah.
And then the one with the gas is like that. And I can hear the difference between those two. The other ones, I can't hear.
Yeah.
But the food and the gas, I think I can figure those two out.
Really?
After a little bit, like, it needs to be a little, like, a few minutes of hearing it over and over to figure it out. Like, she's not just going to cry. I'm like, oh, yep, that's hunger. But as she cries for, like, maybe, like
the Emotions movie. What's that movie called?
Inside Out.
Inside Yeah. The first couple of days I could tell, kind of, but now I can't. Now it just sounds loud in my ear. No, like, I can't tell anymore. I was actually thinking about that a couple of days ago, where it's like the longer it is, the more I just think it kind of sounds like
all
a
the
cry
same.
to me.
Yeah. No, I think I'm trying to really figure it out because then it'll help me know, especially at night when I'm listening to her. I'm like, okay,
What is it?
She's just crying, or okay, she's definitely gassy. I do think, like, the gas one, it's crazy how much, like, that affects her because I think when she, like, lets it out, she feels so much better.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, I think it was yesterday, I burped her and she was, like, crying. I burped her, and, like, she got out a burp and she was like, I'm like, okay.
which has been the one thing that does have me, like, more in the middle and not too extreme on the let her cry it out, is that so far she has proven to be very logical.
Yeah.
At most times.
Yeah.
It's like, if she is crying, it typically is something.
Yeah.
And then once it's fixed, she typically is pretty quiet and goes to sleep. So that is why I'm like, hey, she's kind of earned the trust that, hey, something's happening here.
Yeah.
And now just let me cry.
Yeah.
So again, it's case by case.
Yeah. Yeah, because even sometimes, like, if she doesn't want to go to sleep, like today, and she had her moment where she cried, but then she wasn't crying and she literally was Like everything else was, her diaper was changed. She was fed not that long ago. And I don't know, she didn't have gas, I guess. But she was just laying there. So yeah, it does show that it really
Thinking
is
about life.
when she needs something, she cries.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes like when they say like babies just need to cry, I'm like, why? Well, they need to cry for what?
To let it out. You always
I
tell me
guess.
it's good to cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta
That's
let
true,
it out.
That's true.
And they got a lot
It's
of.
just so annoying.
It is.
It's so
my
annoying.
days.
To cry, like, yeah, sleep training's hard,
It is.
especially at night. It's
But
hard.
other thing that keeps me going though is I think it's generally worth it.
Yeah.
Because once that's figured out, of course, I feel like every single week we say, oh, it was not that bad. Or I remember in the first day we are like, oh, it's just whatever. It's only been, her sleep schedule wasn't that bad, blah, blah, blah. It's not as hard as we thought. And like week one, we were like, oh, it got a little bit harder, but it's not as hard as we thought. And now I'm like, yeah, once that's figured out, but that's about it. But I generally do think that it's such a big part because it drives everything else. And like, even if we're more rested and she's more rested, then the days will just be easier, especially if she's like eating on schedule or sleeping on schedule or napping on schedule. It just becomes way more predictable, which is why I'm like so adamant on trying to get it right, because I feel like it's very, very critical. And like we've said, we've seen kids where it's like they're 2 years old or whatever, and they just need to be sleeping, either being held to sleep every single time, sleeping in the same bed. And I just think that in the long run will take away from our relationship, because now, for example, when we put her down at 8 o'clock, we can come out here and watch a show. That's us time. When she's napping, we come out here and chill. That's us time. We can cook. Especially when we have date nights. Typically, they start around 8 o'clock. So if we can train her to go to sleep at 8 o'clock, that gives us, we typically don't sleep till like 12, 1 anyways on weekends. Now that becomes us time. If she's so codependent on us, yeah, she's a baby now, but just in the long run, that takes away from our date time, because now she has to be here.
Yeah.
And for her to go to sleep, one of us has to put her to sleep, and now we're tired, we're laying in bed.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really trying to avoid, because
Yeah.
I feel like, especially now that I'm back at working, really our days together start at 6 p.m. We put her to sleep at 8 p.m. If in order for her to go to sleep, you have to go to sleep, that means we only have 2 hours together.
Yeah.
But if she goes to sleep at 8 o'clock by herself and we can chill together, then we have like 8+ hours where we chill together and watch a movie.
Yeah.
So that's why I just feel like it's very, very important to get right.
Yeah. It is. That's the thing. And I like agree with you. Like, and I know like sometimes like the actions that I do don't show that, but like I genuinely agree with you. Like getting her to learn it now is right. I just am such an emotional roller coaster that I like, when it's in the moment, I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
But that's why like last night I respected and I let it happen. Like I let you take me out into the living room and let her cry. Like I knew it was hard, but as I was sitting here and as I was like, I know this will be
Enjoying friends.
yeah, like I'm like, I know this will benefit us in the long run, but obviously it was hard for me to do in the moment. But again, like if we just had two people that are like in the emotional state that I am in right now, like if we were both just too emotionally attached to it, we wouldn't figure it out, and it would just be way harder for us. So it is a good thing that you're more on the logical side, and we can kind of meet in the middle. And
that's why I'm glad as well that so far, credit to both of us, amazing job as parents. First of all, I feel like our compromising, our communication. I'm so glad we put it on our vision board to communicate more, because we have, and we haven't compromising.
And having it on the vision board also makes us have to do it.
We have to do it. We have to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like now, for example, one of the times that I got mad, I'm like, I just don't feel like you're trying hard enough to stick to the schedule, because the way you're waking her up is like, it feels like you're massaging her. So we had an argument over that. I'm like, you're not even trying. Which is what I think in my head. I'm like, okay, we said you want to do this, but it doesn't look like you're trying to do this. So it was annoying. But again, we had our little argument. We whatever. Not an argument. We don't really argue. We just kind of get cheese at each other.
No, that's literally so true. Like we don't argue.
I think in the 2 years, we've probably only argued like twice.
But
definitely a handful of times.
Like, yeah. Because like, what's an argument is like, yeah, like back and forth, I guess. But like, when we get like upset, it's just you don't talk and I don't talk.
We're just not very confrontational, I think it is. Or very loud. Like even during your labor, when you're saying, I wonder if I'll be like those girls that like scream at you or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just not you.
Yeah.
So no matter how much pain you're in, it's just not you.
Yeah.
But
So interesting.
yeah, I feel like we've done a very good job at compromising, trying to meet in the middle, where it's like, hey, I say, wake her up no matter what. You say, no, let her sleep. Okay, let's meet in the middle. Let's try it for 3 minutes. If she doesn't wake up, then let's let her sleep. Or let's not be too extreme. Let's not put a wet cloth. Let's not put a wet cloth on her back, you know? So it's all about meeting in the middle. And I think so far we've actually done a very good job.
Yeah, guys, he did that.
And it was working.
He took a paper towel and undressed her and put the paper towel, cold paper towel
You
on
seem
her.
like I tortured her. First of all.
And he's like, yup, it's working.
No, first of all, the undressing was its own thing. She was already supposed to be undressed. Google it. That's a fact.
No. I agree.
Yeah, so I
do
didn't
that
undress
too.
her.
Undressing is to one point.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It's what I'm saying. Nobody tells you how hard it is to wake a baby up. This is my point. It literally says undress her, tickle her.
Yeah.
I see some other stuff, but none of it works. So it gets to a point where it's like, hey, do you just let her sleep for 10 hours in the afternoon, or do you at least try some other stuff? You. But yeah, I think we've been doing a great job at meeting in the middle.
Yeah, I definitely like even the one compromise that, which was like kind of like the first big one that we decided on was when you could tell that I was feeling stressed about the food timer, and you being like, you know what, if it's not working, just delete it. So that was great. And then the second, how you were like, okay, if her feedings are at this time, but she seems hungry, we can feed her within 45 minutes of when she's supposed to eat. That was another big like release, because I'm like, okay, I know I can feed her and he's not going to get mad at me because I fed her and she's hungry.
Like she's in jail.
Like, so those two were like the first two. Like, literally, this was just all in a span of 2 weeks. But
crazy.
Those feels so long ago. But those were the two that I was just like, okay, like we got this, and really showed that you were committed to sticking to what we said originally before obviously she came, that, you know, when we did the vision board, that we have to compromise and that we have to communicate, because, you know, those, we were able to do those things before, but weren't always our strongest thing to do with each other. And so I was just like, okay, that really showed like, I'm not worried and we'll be able to do this thing. Because I think before she came, I always had the worry in the back of my mind, knowing how different on a scale when it comes to like being logical we are, that I was worried that when it came to parenting, that was going to be our hardest thing. But you just shown that we can just figure it out and compromise and meet in the middle. So
I feel like my main thing is I generally do not care what parenting style we do, how we do it, what schedule we follow, what schedule we don't, as long as one is proven to work. So the success ratio is very high. But more importantly is that there is a plan.
yeah.
I'm they have to be a plan person.
Yeah.
Which is why I told you after the argument, I'm like, okay, well, if you want to wake her up, we'll do this. Like, I generally do not care. I'm okay. I just need to know what we're doing. Like, are we supposed to be doing that? Because if we're doing two different things, one of us is in the wrong because we're not following. Which is what you were saying. You said you feel like you're in the wrong when you feed her when it's not time. And I'm like, no, you're not in the wrong, and I'm not in the right. It's not my plan.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're actually following something, because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's out of our control. So I want to follow something that's proven to work.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm saying your way's wrong, my way's right. It's me saying, hey, we said we're going to follow this, and we're not. So are we following it or are we not? Because I literally just need to know, because then it takes away the arguments.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have that conversation, and that's another thing that I feel like why people say parenting can either bring you together or bring you further apart. Because if we don't have that conversation and you keep feeding her off of time and I keep doing one thing, we're on two complete sides doing opposite things, and I'm frustrated secretly. You're mad that I'm forcing her to do this.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is good that we're able to meet in the middle, but Yeah, my main thing is like, hey, just let me know, which is weird that I'm the one saying, hey, we gotta communicate. Because for those of you who know me personally, I'm typically the just leave me alone type
Yeah.
person. But this, I'm very adamant. I was like, because again, I always say it, I'll say it again, you're my first priority, right? So I need to make sure that we're good and you're good and that we're on the same page. Because if we're not, then everything goes.
Yeah.
And again, with the timers, I'm like, hey, the timers help us. The tells whatever, the tells whatever. But literally, as soon, I'm not sure how long you were feeling it, but the moment you told me, you're like, this time, I don't remember what you said, but the time I stress you or you can't look at it. That was the first thing. You said you flipped it over. I'm like, why'd you flip it over? And you're like, you can't look at it. If you don't tell me about the timer, to me, it's not a big deal. It's a timer.
Yeah.
But that's why we need to communicate. And you gotta tell me that, hey, this timer is annoying me, or not even annoying, but it's affecting you mentally. As soon as you tell me that, fuck the timer. Like, immediately, pretty sure the same day, if not the next day, I'm like, hey, delete it.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
I just need to know that. I just need to know what's happening, know that we're on the same page, and know that what we're doing will work. We can't just be freestyling every single day and then doing this and do that, or then doing some random stuff.
Yeah, which it does make me excited for when she actually learns a routine and is on a routine, because that'll help me knowing like, okay, at 1 p.m. we go on our walk, she takes her nap, we come back, she's awake, we like, or it's like, I'm just excited for her to like figure out some sort of schedule and to know, okay, it's bedtime. You're going to go to sleep. Like, okay, she won't be up until 4 a.m. Yeah, it's just in the meantime, it's just, wow. Like my friend told me today, because she asked me how motherhood is going. And I asked her how, like, her son is sleeping through the night. I'm like, oh, does he sleep through the night now? He's 8 months. No, he's a year. I think he's one. Yeah, he's a year now. And she's like, yeah, he sleeps until about like 6 a.m., takes like a morning bottle, and then goes back to sleep. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Can't wait for that. I can wake up at 6, give her a bottle, go back to sleep for a little bit. Like, that just gives me hope. And relieves me knowing that it's going to be like really hard. It'll be a different stage of hard when she's 3 months. Everyone says it's different. Can't wait to see how different it is.
Yeah.
And then it'll be different after that.
Yeah. It's definitely a new challenge every single day, but I feel like that's why I kind of enjoy parenting, because it's literally is like a different puzzle every single day.
Well, I think also because we both have shown, like, at least for me when it came to like jobs, is that all the jobs I was in, I felt like I left because there was never any room for me to grow and to like get a new challenge. Whereas parenting, it's literally a challenge every single day. So I agree with you. Like, I think that's why I enjoy it, because it is like a challenge. Yeah,
it's fun. And although the first 15 days today has been very, very difficult, and there is a sense of like, what are we doing? I feel like one thing that is reassuring for us doing the sleep training, and if you're watching this and if you're planning to, or you're already doing it, is that there is small samples of it working.
Yeah.
Like even with either method, with the cry it out, I'm almost like, that was quicker than I thought. Even you're like, that's quicker than you thought. Even with the eating schedule, there's times that she literally wakes up a minute. It's always within like 5-minute increments. Of her schedule. So stuff like that to me is very reassuring, where it's like, hey, although she's only 2 years old, clearly, it's like I said in one of the other videos, I'm like, she already has a routine. Everybody has a routine. Like I said, she was in your stomach, so she probably had a routine where it's like, she's kicking you from here to here. So she already has one. We just have to kind of adjust that routine so it fits ours a little bit better. We kind of have to manipulate it. And there's certain scenarios where it's like, she wakes up, where it's like she eats at 1, she eats at 4, like she eats exactly at 10, or wakes up exactly at 10, where it's like, it gives me reassurance where it's like, hey, although you hear that she's too young or whatever, it's like, clearly something has to be working. Because you just can't coincidentally wake up on the time we've been trying to train her to wake up if she's not retaining any of this information.
True. It's interesting because her most, like, when we feed her for 10, and then she goes back to sleep, and then for that like next wake up, which is at 1, from 1 to like 3, that's when she just doesn't want to sleep. So like after that first feed, she goes down. So we know that she can go down, she can go and put herself back to sleep. But I think it's just, like she thinks in her mind from 1 to 3, that's her wake window.
Yeah.
And so, but once she goes, like once that period of time goes away, and it's like from 3 onwards, she's usually pretty good, and she'll just wake up for that next time when she has to eat, which the last night it was earlier than I expected. I'm like, oh, why are you awake right now? And then sometimes it's later than I expect, but it's just that 1 to 3 is just like, we haven't figured that out yet. And it's like, why? Just go to sleep. Like,
yeah, it's not that hard.
Because I just know, like, once we figure out 1, I'm like, I'm not making it till 4 a.m. with nothing. Which is just like so challenging because like mentally then it's so hard for me to sleep.
Fall asleep.
Because I'm like, I know that she's probably going to be up in 20 minutes. So that's right now, I think the hardest part of the night is that second feed.
Yeah, I swear in my book, cause it's definitely a thing, just her wake time. I swear in my book, I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it.
I'm telling you, I think it's called like the witching hour.
Yeah, but they definitely, we should do some research because although it's normal, my theme throughout everything is that there probably is some ways where you can kind of alter it, or not even alter it, but make it more manageable in a way, right? So there's got to be some sort of way.
Yeah.
I think my main thing is I just hate to accept anything. Like I'm not gonna accept the fact that because I was speaking to Muta today, and I was telling him about how I've been doing the challenge, I've been lacking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you could." I forgot what I said. I said I'm gonna restart, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, but you just had a baby. It's understandable," and I'm like, "Yes, it is, but nah, I've just been lazy, because I just hate something not being in my control." Because then you're just saying that you're saying you can't control it. You're saying it's out of your control. You're saying whatever. So I'm like, yes, I do have a baby and life has been difficult. But I would rather say that, nah, I'm just being lazy. And I haven't been trying hard enough. I've been using it as an excuse. Because at least now I know there's something I could do to fix it. So it's like, that's why even with the sleep training, which is why I like it, I want to follow something, because accepting that there's something you can do about it is like, there's hope. You have something actionable. Just being like, oh, nothing you can do about it. It's like, to me, I just don't think the way I'm wired, I can handle that. Just not freestyling. That would drive me insane.
Which is so crazy because I'm such a freestyler.
But there's a goal in mind, though.
Yeah.
You're freestyling with the goal in mind and through the same direction. I don't think you're freestyler. I think you just have a lot of room for margin. Where it's like, you're still going in one direction. It's just you might wiggle a little bit instead of
like
going
a snake.
Instead of going like this. But yeah,
You look cute.
thank you. You look pretty too.
Thank you.
But yeah, man. No, 15 days. I think
15.
so far, to me again, so far so good. One thing though, that now that I am starting to work, I do see how the 9 to 5 is a problem. Well, I've always seen it from a different perspective.
Like working.
Yeah,
9
those
to 5.
hours.
Oh, yeah. Just like the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always seen from like a money perspective or from like entrepreneurship. Oh, I want a vacation, blah, 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 work from home. But now I see it from like I don't have enough time for this. Yeah. Like, I do not have enough time to sleep 6 hours, work 8. Because again, like I was saying.
And then be a dad.
Be a dad.
And a husband.
Exactly. And they expect a husband. Cap. And especially like for today, like I finished work at 5, really like 5:30. I went to the gym for 45 minutes, came back. It's already what, 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
I don't got time for this.
Yeah.
I don't got time for this shit.
Literally.
Which is why if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, because we are trying to make money from home, not working full time. Well, work full time, but our work.
Yeah. So we have more time together.
Yes, yeah.
And with her.
Exactly. So if you want to support this child right here, and make sure she grows up in a loving, caring family, seeing both of her parents, it's as simple as subscribing. That's all you have to do is subscribe, and you're helping this kid right here.
Literally. Yeah, it's so stressful for me, the nights, because all I can think about is the fact that you have to get up and work. like, yeah, you don't have to physically get up, get dressed, drive to work, go to work, but you still have to mentally be at work.
Yeah.
And you can't be half asleep and work. And so that's like also why those nights are just like so emotionally challenging for me. And like hearing her cry and why I just want to pick her up right away and be like, shut up. Because I'm like, you have to sleep. Like, yeah, I have to sleep too. And you like make sure that I sleep, but you have to sleep. Like, you can't do your work on 4 hours of sleep every single day. Like, yeah, every once in a while that's going to happen, but it just can't be. And so that's why I'm just like, oh, that part is just so stressful because all I think about is, oh my gosh, like you have to be up, he has to be up, this child's not going to sleep. Like, it just makes me think like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally just going to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, no, which is very understandable. And I appreciate you caring. And of course, I know you're that type of person. But that's why, whether it was yesterday or the day before, I literally said, I'm like, hey, don't change anything just because I have to go to sleep. Don't feel like you need to pick her up right away or you need to alter all of your decisions or think about me sleeping because, again, we have to learn how to live in our regular life, which is what's one thing I always say as well. I feel like I always say a lot of things. But we have to learn how to live in our regular life. Like, we can't make special exceptions. So if I have to learn how to just either work on less hours or sleep through her crying or figure something out, I have to learn that and we have to learn that. It can't just be like, because I have to sleep, now everything is so special where it's like the whole game plan switches. Because again, consistency is a very important thing, which is why I told you, I'm like, don't feel like you have to pick her up right away because I'm right here. Still stick to your gut. Again, do what you think is right. If you want to pick her up because you want to pick her up and that's the right thing to do, then do that. But don't do that because, if he cries for 5 seconds, he's going to wake up. Because then we just not sticking to the consistency and we're just acting emotionally. It is crazy though how it has only been like 2 weeks and like, it's like,
It's been a lot.
It's already been a lot of compromises, a lot of struggles, a lot of highs. Not so much as a lot of lows for me personally, but maybe for you or maybe just in general. But it's been a lot. It's been a long 14 days. 15 days, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it really has been a lot.
Do you feel overwhelmed?
Not in the day, just at nighttime.
No, by being a parent. Like, do you feel like you bit more than you can chew?
No.
You don't?
I do still think that I'm meant for this.
Yeah. Now, one of my favorite things is seeing your I'm meant for this moments. Like, for example, what's a good example? Like, when you're just being a mom, like when you're in the kitchen making food. Like today I finished work and it was clean out here. And I'm like, damn, why did you get time to do all this? I was like, when I come out here and it's like strapped on your chest and you're like doing this and you're doing that. And I'm like, damn.
You're not on schedule. Go back to sleep.
Yeah, see? Go back to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, seeing those moments, it always makes me smile.
Really?
Yeah. I do still believe that you built.
Well, yeah, like, because even when the other day when you were like, oh, do you want to shower or brush your teeth? I'm like, I already did that.
Yeah.
Because I just put her there and up on that thing so she could see me and I brushed my teeth. I'm like,
I'm still here.
looking at her while I was brushing my teeth. Like, that's the thing. I can't wait for her to be a little bit older because then that's entertaining for her. You know what I mean? Right now, she can't see me while she's on the bed and I'm in the bathroom. Like, she can't see that far.
Yeah.
So it's like when she's little, look at her face. She's like, oh, yeah, she's pooping. That one will be yours.
I haven't changed her diaper today. It's what I mean
a lot of diapers.
That's what I mean about working these shifts. I barely even saw her today.
I know. Sad.
Crazy. Subscribe. But I was gonna say something.
Yeah, I agree. Like the whole 9 to 5, it's just not you. No.
It's not.
You are just so much more like even this whole weekend, like just how you were so on top of the whole like podcast stuff and affiliate stuff. Like you just seemed so much happier and exciting to do work, and just like it just like felt like more of you Whereas you being in there, it's just like not you.
It's not.
I just don't like it. I cannot even imagine like you actually going to work and being gone all day though.
Yeah.
Like I am very thankful that you are here, but at the same time it's just like it sucks that you're still at work.
Yeah.
I just like don't like it.
I don't
Subscribe.
like it. And speaking about the affiliates, in the description there are some affiliate links. So if you want those, go get them. Yeah. But also, in this video actually, there is going to be a free... What's it showing? Still recording?
No, yeah, I was seeing it's been 50 minutes.
50 minutes. Went longer than I thought. We're not done yet. But also in the description, there will be a guide, a sleep training guide, PDF, which is free. So go get that as well. If you're sleep training your baby or will be in the future, link in the description. In fact, just go scout the description.
You know...
But, sorry, go on.
No, you finish first.
No, I was going to go back to the work thing.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like us being the Gen Beta parents and our target audience and who we are as a demographic is everybody's probably watching this and listening like, I can't do this 9 to 5. Because I've been on this I can't do this 9 to 5 lifestyle since I was like literally in junior high.
Yeah.
But now I even tell you about my friends where they're like, no, like we can't do this 9 to 5. Like nobody in our generation wants to do this 9 to 5.
Well, literally, like, yeah, that's so true because like other generations are like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You go to work 9 to 5. Like, it's just nowadays is literally just not realistic.
It's not. It's like the hours got shorter.
Yeah.
We don't have 24 hours anymore.
No.
We got like 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. I literally like can't even imagine myself working.
Yeah, you're off for like... Now, you're still off for a minute, though. Probably you're off for like another 15 months.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's a long time. You're not back to work.
Let it out.
You're not back to work till like mid-2026. You're not back to work until I'm almost 26 years old.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I'm 24 right now.
But if you don't subscribe, I will be having to go back to work.
So, yes. The purpose of this whole video is to tell you to subscribe. And also, we are on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and YouTube. So no matter what platform you want to consume,
you can catch us there.
You can catch us there. Links are in the description, once again. But is there anything else to touch on that you want to get off your chest?
No, but I think I was just going to say, like, you know how we look at last year and we just think about, like, wow, like we really accomplished all of that in this short amount of time. It's going to be really interesting to just look back on like the first quarter, you know, in the next 2 months and just be like, wow, like we really did all of that. Because I just think that there's like, I was thinking, I'm like, hey, like it's already almost the end of January. Oh my gosh, like that's a month gone of the year. But then I'm like, wait, wow, so much has already happened, like growth wise. But you don't think about it in the moment. But when you look back on it 2 weeks ago, it's like, wow. So like when I think about in 3 months, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what are we going to accomplish in 3 months with her? Is she going to be fully sleep trained by then? That would be amazing. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, like crazy to think what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, for anyone to take away from this video, I would say that if you have a partner, that it's not going to work if you don't compromise. Learn to compromise with each other. It can be hard at first, but take a minute to think about, is your way really the right way, or are there ways to alter it? I think out of everything, that has just shown that has been the thing that has worked in these last few weeks. So if you do have a partner, or if you are a young parent, you know, and you guys are both figuring out this parent thing together, you have to learn to compromise or it's not going to work. What about you? Do you have another one to add? That's my main one that I got away from this video.
I think that would be my main one as well, because I feel like communication has been definitely one of the things that has made this enjoyable and easy.
Yeah.
Both. Because, yeah, being on the same page, I even said in the last video, I'm like, I don't know how single parents do it. Because we are very lucky that we have each other. So if you do have a partner, make sure that you do trust them and you are very open with them and literally let them know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because especially as a new parent, the only person that's going through what you're going through is literally the person sleeping right beside you. So it's like,
Yeah.
apart from that, just subscribe, honestly. You know, the goal, speaking about looking back to this year, the goal for this year is 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe. If you're watching this and you have your partner, show it to your partner, get them to subscribe. In fact, pick up your partner's phone, go on YouTube and subscribe. And follow us on Spotify, Amazon, all that on their phone as well.
Yes.
And if you have friends, we're all in that age now. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Where all of our friends are becoming parents. So send it to them as well. It's a Gen Beta parents.
Yeah.
So if you're not a Gen Beta parent, put them on.
This is good because then it'll know that when it's your turn for those really hard nights that you are not alone, because this is the most real that you will get. This is the raw footage of what it's actually like to be a new parent. It's hard, but it's so rewarding. It's so worth it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And
which is why I was also saying the reason I'm so excited for this podcast and why I love doing this podcast and this topic is because regardless of if we hit 1,000 subscribers or if we make money, I genuinely am happy to have these conversations and this content.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it is raw and it is just our journey.
yeah.
So even when Elle is a little bit older, we can be like, hey, you having your first kid? Oh, let me put you on.
Yeah.
This is the playbook. Here's what worked, here's what didn't. One of my other favorite quotes, I have many of them as you know by now, but is learn from others' mistakes and not your own. So us doing this podcast and us giving people advice, it's not us saying it will work.
Yeah.
It's us documenting it. So even if it doesn't work, you're like, oh, they're stupid. They did this. That didn't work. Or I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So at least now you know not to do that. If we're training at 2 weeks old and it's way too early and it doesn't work out, then maybe you reconsider. But it's just us documenting our journey. And even at the gym today, I'm like, I can't believe we're on Spotify. Like I can go on walks and go on a jog and listen to us.
Yeah.
Which I feel like at the end of the year, or even in 2 years, listening to these episodes, I'm going to be like, oh, we're so stupid. And I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
My boobs are on schedule.
Yeah, it's starting to leak.
Yeah, I feel them.
You feel them?
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you for watching. Again, if you know somebody who's becoming a parent or if your partner, whatever it is, share the podcast. We appreciate it a lot. If you made it this far, in the description there's a bunch of affiliate links, and also a free PDF on sleep training, which will be very, very helpful to you.
It's free.
It's
Everybody
free.
likes free things.
Free things. I love free things. I'm black. I love free things. So, till next time.
Bye.
Bye. Elle, do it.
Bye.